Steelers won. All right, you guys can fire away.
Hey, Ron. Can you start with Chase Young and Matt Ioannidis? In the end?
They were both injured and didn't come back, and we'll see how they are tomorrow. Hey, Ron, what was your view of the turnovers today?
Disappointing. It's one thing that we can't do is we can't turn the ball over and expect to win. I mean, we had turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, and then had an opportunity to come back. We did, took the lead, but then we turned the ball over again. You're not going to win football games if you don't win the takeaway battle, and I believe in that. And I just, unfortunately, we didn't get enough turnovers back to help ourselves either.
Ron, Scott Abraham, ABC7. How do you evaluate the play of Dwayne Haskins? Obviously, the turnovers were a crusher today, but the overall body of work from Dwayne,
well,
to assess his play.
He did some good things. He tried to force a couple things, and when he was, taking what they were giving, doing the things that was, that he's capable of, we moved the ball, we scored, we put points on the board. It's unfortunate because a couple times we were moving, and we had a couple untimely penalties that showed up too that took us out of position. And again, it's part of the process that we're learning, and we're trying to learn how to play and not make these kind of mistakes.
Ron,
Go ahead.
Ron, was this a little bit more frustrating because it seemed like the skill position players, you were starting to get a little bit more from them. They started to be a little more consistent. Was that a factor in how you feel after today's game?
Yeah, it was disappointing. I thought our skill players did step up. We had some young guys get an opportunity to play, and they came through and made some plays as well. So, again, this is a young football team that's learning, growing, going to make mistakes, and we're going to learn and grow with them. And unfortunately, we had several situations where guys got nicked up today, and forced some other guys to have to play a little bit more football.
Ron, you've had moments like this before with Cam early in his career. With Cam early in his career, you had some games like this, and with him, I mean, how did he come from those? What did you kind of push from him in those moments?
Well, the biggest thing is that I just got done talking to Dwight and told him, I said, look, I told you I'm behind you, and I'm gonna stick with you, so you go out and play football. But he's just got to learn and understand. You don't have to make the big play all the time. Plus, you've got guys that can make plays, so all you need to do is get the ball into their hands and let them go out and make plays.
You just, said you're going to stick with Dwayne, obviously, moving forward. How do you tell him to ignore the outside noise? Because there's obviously going to be a lot of that outside noise calling for you to make a switch.
Absolutely. And again, I think the outside noise is exactly what it is. It's noise. The truth of the matter is, how's he going to learn? Is he going to learn taking the show team snaps? No. The only way he's going to learn, the only way we're going to truly find out where Dwayne is and what he can do for us is to put him back out on the football field and let him get exposed. That's how he grows. That's what we did with Cam Newton, and look where he is today. Cam Newton was a league MVP because we trusted him. We took our lumps with him. I'm going to take my lumps with Dwayne right now. Again, as long as he continues to do things that show you that he can make things happen, I'm going to support the young man. I'm not going to pull the plug on him just because something like this happens. I mean, again, in my opinion, he's barely through a rookie year right now. In terms of being out there learning and growing.
Ron, what were your thoughts on the Terry McLaurin OPI call there in the fourth quarter?
I was a little disappointed. I didn't think it rose to the level of an OPI. I thought, Terry runs great routes, very precise, and he's very light on his feet. So when he snapped that off, the DB had no chance. He couldn't stick his leg in the ground and turn like Terry did. It looked worse than it really was. But again, he called it, and we got to live with it.
What did it do for you to have Kendall Fuller back in the secondary?
I think it helped. We had some good things happening early on. It's just unfortunate the game got away from us with the takeaways. But it was good having Kendall out there. He's a little rusty. He'll continue to work and get better, and I think we'll learn to work as a unit.
Ron, what did you think of Montez Sweat's day today? I mean, obviously you lost Chase Young, you lost Ioannidis, but Montez Sweat had an exceptional day out there today.
Yes,
what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you guys when you lose the players that you did, but he was still able to have the level of productiveness that he was?
Well, first of all, it was tough. We've only had 16 linemen. We've been having 9 up, but unfortunately with the wide receiver situation, with Steven Sims coming off the big toe injury, we had to keep an extra wide receiver up, so we had to put down one of our defensive linemen. So we only had 8. Then we lost 2 in the first half, and so it was nice to see people stepping up. I thought Duran stepped up when he needed to. Montez stepped up. We got some good play out of Jonathan. I mean, those 6 guys that were left, they fought their butts off to finish the game out. I mean, and that's what you need. And watch guys like that step up. That was awesome. But yeah, Montez showed that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. If you can imagine what it would be like if we had a healthy Chase.
Ron,
It was the second week in a row that at the end of the game you didn't call timeouts to try to get another possession. Same rationales last week with the injuries.
Okay. I mean, to me, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to answer. I mean, I did what I did. Again, like I told you guys, my concern is about the development of this football team, not appeasing anybody that has an opinion. Okay, again, I'm going to do what I need to do to help develop this football team. People say, oh, well, you got to give a chance. Yeah, but you also got to be realistic about what's happening in terms of the injuries. Again, we had no preseason to develop, and you look throughout the league with the injuries right now. Once we get past a certain point, yeah. But right now, hey, I'm working on developing my football team. This football team is a young team that's going to learn and grow, and we're going to learn and grow the way that I see fit for this organization.
Yeah, after in the second half, after Chase came back, out behind the bench, I don't know how much you saw it, but it seemed like he was very active, like he was trying to take a leadership role. Chase
is a high level of energy out there, and it's good to see guys like that, And again, he's a guy that's going to help spark this organization and this team, and he's the right kind of young man. We a whole bunch of those guys that do things the right way. We really do, and again, I believe in who we are and who we can become.
Hey, Ron,
when you lose guys like Matt and Chase, you talked about the depth, but just from a game standpoint, their impact on the game, how much did it hurt what you guys can do?
Well, the hard part is you can't keep guys as fresh as you like them, and they're constantly being exposed out there. That's the hard part. You want to be able to protect guys and rotate them so that they get out there and they're fresh. I promise you, we go back and look at it. Our D-line, they played their butts off, and they gave us a chance, gave us an opportunity, but eventually it's going to wear you down. It's going to get to you at the end, and that's precisely what happened.
Ron, I know it's not the result, obviously. You want to go with the fourth quarter that you wanted, but the third quarter, you guys, I think, outscored them 13-0. Were you happy with what you got there in terms of the answer after all that went wrong in the second quarter?
Yeah, and then that's disappointing because, we had a couple of chances to continue to stop them. We had a 3rd and long, and they converted. We had a couple of 4th downs we could have stopped them on, and we didn't. And then we turned the ball over a couple of times. Again, we can't make those mistakes right now. We're not experienced enough to withstand our own personal mistakes as a football team.
Ron, was there an interception from Dwayne that bothered you more than any of the others, perhaps?
No, they all bothered me. I mean, again, it's all part of the game, and he knows better in some cases, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, believe me, he's not doing it on purpose. He's trying to help us win a football game, and that's the thing that we're going to live with. We're going to live with the mistakes, and he's going to grow from those mistakes. And again, the only way to find out if he can do it is keep him on the football field.
Hey, Ron, you mentioned Steven Sims' injury. How much did that factor into the more usage of Isaiah Wright and Andy Golden, especially in the first half?
That was a big part of it. That's why we rolled all those guys in there. We're trying to take a little bit of the pressure off of Steven. And again, we're trying to keep him as healthy as we can so we can keep him on the football field. He's a good football player. We need guys like that on the field. But it was also good to see Isaiah play. It was good to see AGG get a little bit more of an opportunity. So we're learning more about our football players. And again, this is a young team that we're going to learn and grow with.
Ron, it looked like from the TV that the interceptions, Dwayne was staring guys down and they reacted to it. Just wondering, I know you haven't looked at the film yet, but are those the types of mistakes that are correctable, or is that something where he's got to just know he can't stare a guy down?
No, it's something he's got to know. David, part of going through your progression, part of it is when you're staring a guy down, you made a preconceived decision that you're going to throw the ball there, and that's when you really get in trouble. I do know a couple of interceptions was he put the ball on the wrong side of the receiver. If he puts the ball low and away on a couple of them, those aren't interceptions. In fact, they should be catches for us, and that's disappointing because he's got a good arm and he can be very accurate. We'll have to take a look at what happened and whether he was going through his progression properly, whether his feet were set when he was delivering the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of it. And again, he's a young quarterback, in my opinion, that's really just going through his rookie year and hasn't quite finished it yet. And he'll get better, he'll grow, and I think he's a guy that can, that we can follow.
That's one.
Can you talk about the history being made in this game with Jennifer King?
Well, I think it's cool. I really do, and I think it's about time. That there's some gender equity in this sport. That women love this game, and a lot of them want to play this game, and they play it. A lot of them want to coach it, and they're coaching it. And all we're doing is just creating opportunities for people that deserve it. Sarah Thomas is a more than qualified referee. And I know the women that are coaching this league are more than qualified. And I'm very proud of Jennifer King. She's somebody that I've worked with the last few years. I've given her an opportunity with internships to show me that she deserves the opportunity and she's earned it, and she's running with it. And again, this is all about making sure that people who deserve opportunities get them, and that's all we've done.
All right, thanks everyone. We'll have Dwayne up shortly.
All right, guys, we can open it up here for Dwayne. Go ahead.
Hey, Dwayne. Obviously a rough day in terms of some of the interceptions. Was there a common thread that you saw Ron kind of mention if maybe you had a little bit better ball placement on a couple of them? Not sure which ones he was talking about. Was there something you saw that kind of tied them together?
Just trying to do too much, trying to make a play or fit into a window, kind of in a scenario where we're, move back into a chain, 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 12 or whatever the case or scenario may be, and trying to get it all back. Kind of what happened as far as a couple of those interceptions, but just trusting, the progressions, and that you're not going to get all 18 yards back if it's not there wide open. So finding the running back, finding the check down, something I'll continue to work on and get better at. But definitely just with not, trying to make everything back when you have a penalty or a sack or incompletion or a 3rd and long or whatever the scenario is, trying to, make a play, put you in bad spots.
Hey, Dwayne, it's John Kine from ESPN. Did you feel like there was some predetermined by yourself, some predetermined reads maybe led you to staring down a little bit and gave them a little bit of clue there? Did you feel that or no?
No, I didn't feel like I was staring anybody down. The first interception was a cover 3 look before verticals. The Mike carried the Y across on the crossing 9, and I felt like I could get it over top of the backer. He did a good job of leveraging him out so he couldn't finish over the top, and safety made a great play on the ball. Second interception, that was just a curl route to the field. I should have just thrown the flat. I was trying to fit into a window, trying to get that 3rd and 10 back, and then the 3rd interception, I got hurried up and tried to throw it early, and a linebacker undercut me. So it's just playing situational football and understanding when to take a sack or when to throw the ball down to the running back and not make plays worse.
Dwayne, just generally, what was
after the game? You two
I can't hear you.
Dwayne, Coach Rivera just said after the game. Can you hear us, Dwayne?
No, not really.
Coach Rivera said after the game that you two had a brief conversation, and he basically just said you're his quarterback. He's sticking with you. When you have your head coach come to you like that after a disappointing game on your part, what does that mean to you to know that Coach Rivera has your back going forward?
Yeah, it means a lot. In spite of the bad, I thought I had some good stuff out there to work on and improve off of. Coach Rivera and I are very close, and I don't ever want to just get comfortable with just thinking, oh, I'm this guy, or hey, he believes in me. That doesn't matter if you're not producing on the field. So definitely appreciative of that and how he feels about me going in that direction. And I want to keep getting better for myself and for my teammates, and trying to help these guys find a way to win, and honestly not being so competitive where, I take myself out of the game.
Dwayne, what was it like for you late in the game? I saw a couple times you're sitting there on the bench, just kind of looking out on the field after a couple of those turnovers. What was that like for you? What are you thinking at that moment?
Getting the ball back. So just really just trying to focus in on what we're doing next. Kind of when you make mistakes, especially at quarterback, everybody wants to give you their opinion or what they would do, and kind of just clear my mind and, letting myself just process and play.
Hey, Dwayne, when you have those kind of rough moments, what's the process for you to kind of overcome those? Because you had a couple of those picks, and then you guys had a strong, quarter there to take the lead. What's that like for you just through that process?
I mean, it's just like life. Sometimes you get fired. Sometimes you don't get an A on your project. Sometimes, you want to get a certain gift for Christmas and you don't get it. And that's just life, and that's adversity. You have to learn how to deal with it and get better from it. And I felt like I learned from my adversity this week. I felt a lot more confident in game and before the game, and just trying to figure out ways to carry the good stuff from this game and learn from the bad game, learn from the stuff from this game that was bad, and move forward to next week of the tough team, the Ravens at home. So it's tough. The competitor in me wants to go back out there and play again. But, the best thing from this is learning and using those experiences, not only for myself, but for the rest of the team. Offensively, we made some mistakes, got to do better taking care of the ball. Penalties cost us. Defensively, we're still working through that. And we're just trying to play team football, play situational football. And we're all trying to come together as a team. When a lot of these guys play for the first time with each other ever. So really, there's no excuses for anything. But, I'm going to make sure that I keep motivating and pushing these guys. And not only that, motivating and pushing myself to know the potential we have and how much better we can be and how good we can be.
What was Chase saying to you on bench at the end?
I can't hear you. Say it again.
Oh, sorry. When Chase was talking to you at the end on the bench, what was he saying to you?
Really just that he believes in me. I had a lot of guys on the sideline just come up to me and tell me that they believe in me. Chase said it doesn't matter if we're down 40, he's still going to be on the sideline rooting me on and saying let's go 7. And for a guy like that, somebody that I look at and admire his work ethic and have love for, he's like a brother to me. I've known him for some years now, and for him to have the utmost respect for me and have the trust in me to get the job done. Not only that, but a lot of other guys on this team. So I felt like this team, just my teammates did a great job today, just trying to keep my head up, knowing that of course some of these plays I wish I could have had back, but we all made mistakes today, and I'm going to make sure I'm better and take the blame for what I did and get better from it.
In the moment,
Sorry. I can't hear you.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. Hey, Dwayne, does that help during that in the moment, or are you kind of just focused on I don't know, would you like?
Maybe at the end of the game, when playing quarterback, it's more so just keeping yourself or the quarterback coach or Coach Turner or the other quarterbacks, and just keep that circle small as far as people that you let influence your mental during the game or just in general in a week and in a week of practice. We always have a saying that it's just us in this room, and that's all we have to worry about, and that's all we got. So, Alex, Kyle, and Zampese and Coach Turner are very supportive and, gave me some tools that I can use going into next week, some stuff that they've been through, that they had a 3-pick game or, whatever that happened where they took a loss and, next week they got better. So, it's only week 3. So we have a lot more ball to play, but by no means we are content with how we're playing football. We want to keep getting better.
Dwayne, obviously, the interceptions will be the talk all week, but were you happy with how some things happened in the first quarter and specifically against the third quarter too, and then come back after that adversity before halftime? And even the first quarter, that first drive, you guys got a couple of first downs and kind of moved the football, got rid of the football.
Yeah, honestly, talk is just talk. It's outside noise. When you let outside noise into your head, you start thinking and believing whatever the hell you read or see. So really just letting all of that go and letting it go. It's week 2 or week 3, and that's just the week that it was. And week 4 is a whole different week. You start over. Monday, you wipe it clean. You figure out who you're playing, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and worry about them. You can't worry about what someone thinks about you. You can't worry about the game last week. You can't worry about the game week before, because if you go into that game with still worrying about other stuff, or not being focused into what you're doing this week, you're going to lose again. So, just trying to figure out, just moving forward, how to find the positives, find the negatives, ignore the noise, ignore, whoever, has something to say that's not in this building.
Dwayne, what did you see on the OPI call to Terry McLaurin?
That pissed me off. But that's a conversation you should have with Terry.
Wayne, what did you think of? What did you think of the skill position players, Isaiah and AGG stepping in with Steven obviously limited?
Yeah, those guys are hungry. Isaiah and AGG are young guys, and they want to find ways for themselves to get better. They asked me a lot of questions during the week about what we're doing and how they can fit in the game plan, and I felt like they did a good job this week for filling in for Steve and Dontrell. So I'm really happy for those guys. I'm hoping that they can continue to get better and be pieces for me moving forward this season.
All right, thanks, Dwayne. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, we got Kendall Fuller here. Fire away.
Kendall, this was your first game with Washington back on the team. How did that feel, getting back on the field?
It felt good. Just the last 2 weeks being out there on the sidelines, just cheering for them boys, just being able to come out here, get a whole week of practice, go out there on a Sunday and sit up with them boys, and it definitely felt good. And just looking to get a win next week.
Hey, Kendall, John Kime, ESPN. When you guys lose a guy like Chase Young and then Matt Ioannidis, what did that do to your defense?
Talented players, you definitely notice it. But we also have that next man up mentality. We know the depth that we have at each level, and we're just looking at the next man to step in and make their plays.
Kendall, you talk about players stepping up to fill in that void. Montez Sweat, obviously, he's the starter outside of Chase Young, but he had a huge day. He had that huge tackle for a loss on 3rd and 1. He chased down Baker Mayfield for the intentional grounding. Can you kind of talk about what it's like for a player to step up like that when you do lose somebody like a Chase Young or a Matt Ioannidis?
Yeah, it's big. Anytime a guy steps in and makes game-changing plays like that, to get him behind the sticks the way he did, especially as a DB, you definitely appreciate it because it makes our job easier on 3rd down. But Sweat, he's been showing that all training camp, all season, and that's what we expect from him.
Kendall, when you come back on the defense, what does that allow the unit to do differently, or maybe play things differently than you might have otherwise?
We got a lot of good guys in the secondary, a lot of depth. Fabe and Jimmy, and even guys like Danny and G Strobe. But I think just my knowledge of the game, knowing what's going on in the game. What the offense is doing, situational awareness and things like that, just all different things that I try to bring out on the field with me.
And Kendall, you were off the injury report this week. How close were you to playing last week? And do you feel fine now?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I think last week, I was out of camp for however many weeks. Started to feel decent and better last week, but had never been able to get out there on the field and things like that. So. I think once we kind of knew how I was feeling last week, we knew that this week was going to be a go.
Kendall, I know the turnovers by Dwayne put the defense in some difficult situations, but I know he was upset about it after the game. As a defense and you as a leader of the defense, do you say something to Dwayne to kind of lift his spirits, maybe reiterate that he's your quarterback and all this stuff to kind of keep his mind straight going forward?
I think everybody's gonna uplift them and things like that. Football, everybody makes mistakes, things happen. We put it on us as a defense. We were bad at sudden change today. When the offense did come around and get us up, we didn't make the plays that we needed to keep the lead and things like that. So everybody on each side of the ball, thinks that they can win and lose the ball game, and that's the mindset that each player, each positioning group has to have.
Hey guys, got time for like 2 more.
Ken, obviously a disappointing result, but do you see, some of the positives that we were able to see in camp and even week 1 when you were out against Philadelphia? Can you still take some positives moving forward out of this?
Yeah, there's always positives and negatives anytime you play a game, whether you win or lose. But at the end of the day, we're out here to come out here and win football games. So we got to take those positives, even take those negatives and learn from them, and make sure that we're coming out next week talking about the positives and negatives after a win.
Last one.
Kendall, how, if at all, did the fans change how it felt on the sideline or how it felt on the field?
It definitely changes it. It just feels like you're in the stadium, things like that. But I was telling a couple of the guys I was glad that my first game back there was gonna be some fans and things like that. But football, you gotta, especially this year, you gotta take what's coming at you, and just keep on going forward.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, everyone.